Alright, I'm going to explain to you why I don't drive, personally. Yes, I do actually have my G1. Hold on. It's right here. I'm gonna cover up my information. It's, that's me. That says G1 right there. That's when I had my longer hair. That was almost a year ago. The only reason why I actually got my G1 is because a lot of people were nagging at me and putting a lot of pressure on me to become a driving citizen. They were saying stuff like, "Matt, when are you going to learn to drive? Why don't you drive, Matt? You're 17 years old, you should get your G1. Nag, 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 nag." Then finally, I was just like, "Alright, I'll get it! Son, oh!" And as you can clearly see by the photograph, I was not happy to get it. Not a happy face! The reason why I wasn't happy to get it was because A, I failed the first time, I'm not gonna lie. And B, I've had a lot of bad experiences with cars in my life. Such as, when I was a young boy, this is a true story, when I was a young boy, frolicking with my friends, the tender age of 7, we used to play this game called Frogger. No, not the video game Frogger. We made this game up where we would just run out in front of cars on the road. The kids down the street, they had a similar game called Car Dodgy, but it wasn't as good as our game. We would run out in front of cars that were driving down the road and see if we could, you know, get by the cars before they had to slam on their brakes. And one day, me and my friends were playing. I was on my bike, and my friend was like, "Matt, here comes a van! Go, go, go!" So I hopped on my bike, and I go out into the middle of the road. I wasn't going fast enough to get by the car, but luckily it had slowed down almost to a stop and just knocked me off my bike. That was the first time I've ever gotten hit by a car. The second time I got hit by a car was last year, just before the summer. And that's where I got this from. This is my neck brace, and this was in case I had any neck injuries. Because this was just no little bump. This car plowed into me. It was a sunny day, and it was the day after I had gotten my wisdom teeth removed. I decided I wanted to go for a bike ride. But little did I know, there was someone else out there who was looking to ruin someone's day. So there I was, riding my bike down the road, minding my own business, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and I come to an intersection, as was a car. And the car had stopped, which is pretty much the universal signal for, "Cross the road, you crazy pedestrian." So I think to myself, hey, I better slow down, just to make sure this car is, you know, not gonna run me over. So I slow down. The car is still parked there at the corner. So I think, alright, I'll cross the road. So I do it. I cross the road. And I get maybe about halfway out in the middle of the road, and I happen to glance over my shoulder, like so. Which was just in time to see the car. That was about maybe this far away from me. And that clearly did not give me enough time to do any of the things I would have loved to done. Like get off my bike, and run to safety. Possibly climb a tree. And the car didn't care that I wanted to do any of those things. It hit me. It ran me over. Which sent me over the hood of the car, where my head met the windshield. And my head, it left a huge spiderweb in the windshield. The next stop on my fabulous journey was doing 2 somersaults over the car and landing on my butt, then hitting the back of my head on the pavement, which is where I laid for about 10 minutes until the ambulance came and got me. And that was my first ambulance ride to the hospital, that I remember. When I got to the hospital, they made me take a urine sample, which revealed that I was peeing blood with a vengeance! But I wasn't actually with a vengeance. I just wanted a new bike. I never did get that new bike. Since then, I've never owned a bike. Another good reason why I probably shouldn't be driving anyway is because whenever I get behind the wheel, I get those Grand Theft Auto Vice City urges. You know, squealing tires, you know, driving through anything, running people over. Nothing can harm you. You know, you get out of the car, you punch the old lady to death, you take her money. Yeah, I love that game. That's probably why I shouldn't be driving. One time, I drove a truck that was on fire. It's not as hardcore as it sounds though, because at the time I didn't know it was on fire. We didn't discover the fire until after we had parked it. We got out and we looked underneath the truck and it was on fire. Then I ran away, screaming like a little girl.